Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you're all safe and doing well. So, today's session is based on expanding your chatbot capabilities with Watson Assistant and Twilio. With me, I have Khalil Faraj, who is a developer advocate based in UAE, and we have a guest speaker who is also an IBM champion and AI chatbot architect. His name is Rangana, and my name is Mridul Bhandari. I'm also a developer advocate based in Dubai. And on the screen, you can see the link to sign up for the IBM Cloud account. This will be shared in the chat, so you can get started with it. So moving on. So for this is today's housekeeping. So just to get you familiarized with the Crowdcast platform, on the top you can see the title of the webinar, and then we have IBM Developer. So you can click on follow to keep you can keep getting updates and notifications about our latest webinars and workshops which we are conducting. So you can click on the follow button and you can get notified about the upcoming events. And then we have the chat section. So if you have any queries or any doubts, you can just reach out to us and you can just put in your chat questions over here and we will try to answer them as quickly as we can. And in case you have some questions and you want to ask them, you can just ask them in the Q&A session. That is ask a question. So you can put up the questions over there and we will try to respond to that as soon as possible. And next, we have a green button which says workshop resources. So when you click on that, it will redirect you to the GitHub repository where today's content has been stored. There's also a link over there. All the links are listed over there, so you can access the workshop slides and the various sign up links and from the README document over there. So this is about the Crowdcast platform. So moving on. So you looking to put your tech skills to a good use and try to build something which can help solve the global challenge, global problems faced by the world today? You can participate in the Call for Code challenge. You can try to build your product and you can try to help the community and it would be of social good and we would it would help you put your ideas to action. So Call for Code is the grand prize for Call for Code is $200,000. So you can sign up on the link developer.ibm.com/call for code and you can start working on your projects. So the theme this year is climate change, and you can start building your products around that. And you can propose your ideas, and you can register on this link which is shown on your screen. And this will be shared in the chat section with you. Okay, moving on. So today's agenda. So first, what you're going to do is you're going to go over what are chatbots, and we're going to go over some use cases and the roadmap, and then we're going to go on what are voice bots, and then we're going to understand what is Twilio. Then we're going to see some speech to text and text to speech capabilities from IBM. And then we have Rangana who will be sharing his experience building chatbots during his career. And he's going to share what was his experience and how they managed to build more architecture. And they were able to solve some of the greatest challenges faced by his organization. And then we'll be talking about Watson Assistant. And then we'll be going over through hands-on, which will be conducted by Khalil. And that's the agenda for today. So moving on. So what are chatbots? So chatbots are like a software application and they're used to conduct an online chat conversation via text or text to speech in lieu of providing direct contact with live human agent. So it is a type of software that can automate conversations and interact with people through messaging platforms. So during the past year or even before that, you might have experienced, you might have called these helpline agents and customer agents and try to get your query sorted for various products you are using or various services you're using. So you must have come across, on the websites, you might have come across these chatbots on the side where you could put up your question, get them answered. So chatbots are mainly used to replace customer service by companies so as to uh, scale up and answer more and more queries for customers. And they are done through mobile applications or messaging applications integrated with your Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or any other messaging application or some other mobile applications that they particularly have, or even through telephone lines. So if you're calling on some helpline number, you would have a automated voice agent who would be directing you towards the various options available and getting your query sorted. So moving on. So within chatbots have evolved continuously. You have seen there's been evolution of a lot of chatbots over the time. So they have exponentially and dynamically increased in their capabilities. So chatbots can be broadly categorized in three types. So one is the rule based and the button chatbots, and the next is the keyword recognition chatbot, also known as the smart chatbots. And the last, we have contextual chatbot, which is also known as hybrid chatbots. So what are rule-based or button or slash simple chatbots? They are the simplest form of chatbots available out there, and they're based on decision trees. As they are the simplest form, they have limited capabilities, and they are very task specific. Uh, you can think of them IVRs on chat. So this means that the bot poses questions based on predetermined options, and the customer can choose from the options until they get the answers to the query. The chatbot will not make any inferences from its previous interactions. These chatbots are best suited for straightforward dialogues, and they're very simple to build and train. So an example for this would be a chatbot to order a pizza. So when a customer interacts with a chatbot to order pizza, the flow of conversation is basically set. So just like an operator asks for your order over the phone, the chatbot will pose questions in the same way, starting from the size of the pizza to the crust, toppings, and the amount of cheese. And it will then request the address and the payment method. So these steps are logical and only requires the customer to click through and complete their order. Next, we have keyword recognition chatbot or smart chatbots. So they are AI-enabled chatbots, uh, smart chatbots, and they're designed to simulate near human interactions with customers. You can have free-flowing conversations, and they can understand the intent, language, and sentiment. So these chatbots, they require programming to help it understand from various contexts of interactions, and they are much harder to implement than the rule-based button or simple chatbots. And they execute and they need a lot of data to learn and execute. Now, an example for this would be your virtual assistants on your phone or your laptops or desktops. So, for example, like Siri, or you have Microsoft Cortana, or the Google Home or Amazon Alexa. So, all these are examples of smart chatbots. They're virtual assistants, and they are just a modified version of smart chatbots, and they learn from every human interaction. It can also engage in small talk, which is an added benefit of smart chatbots. While smart chatbots are trained to give most relevant response with the help of an open domain source, they learn best by collecting information in real time. And they try to build a bot. They try to go to an extent to which they can work consecutively. The responses keep coming, so that's why they require a lot of data to train. So they have been, they keep training and keep learning from the user itself, and they also can be integrated within your web applications. Next, we have the contextual chatbots or the hybrid chatbots. So they are a combination of simple and smart chatbots, and they are, they are a combination of both the extremes in the chatbot spectrum. So they will constantly need for a simple chatbot to be smarter and smarter chatbots to be simpler. So that is why these hybrid chatbots were conceptualized. So they try to meet the middle ground, and they have some rule-based tasks, and they try to understand the intent and the context also. And it becomes a very balanced tool for businesses to interact with customers. Now, example for these hybrid chatbots would be medical diagnosis chatbots. So customers that require help with medical diagnosis, they require they want to have something as a flow and a mix of understanding the language and the intent or the sentiment behind those words, the input they're giving in. So they would be able to voice their health related questions, and the bot can narrow it down to possible conditions by asking for symptoms in a rule based format. And visitors will be able to go back and forth and choose from different options and give more details until the bot narrows down on their condition and prescribes the remedies for the same. So moving on, why use chatbots? So we went over through what are chatbots and what are the types of chatbots, but why do we actually need them? So the thing is, they increase the accessibility as compared to the customer service or an agent talking through the customer, as they are always available. So if you see when you call the helpline number and if there's an agent talking, there's a certain duration, of work hours which you can call within. It can be 9 to 6 or 8 to 5 or 8 to 8. So you're supposed to stick to that timeline. But with chatbots, you can access them 24/7. So they're always available on the website and they can be accessed at any time. And you can from anywhere also. You don't need to require a SIM card or something. If you just have an internet connection, you can just access the website and you can go ahead and you can type in a query. And next is the capacity. So last year we were in this unprecedented situation of the pandemic, and where a lot of companies had trouble dealing with the queries that were coming in to use the products and services while staying indoors, and they wanted to get access to it. So now, in order to answer these questions, get these queries sorted, customers used to call these helpline numbers, and they used to wait in line, and they used to still not get a chance to speak to the agent, because there would be a lot of calls and there would be a waiting line, they would be placed and they would be lower in the order. And this would waste a lot of time for both the agent, for the company, and for the consumer. So because of this, chatbots are, they can accommodate to any capacity. So they can answer to how many customers, consumers, they, reaching out to them, and they can answer them simultaneously. Like, if I'm asking a chatbot something, Khalil can also parallelly ask, or Rangna can also parallelly ask. So they don't have to, for me to, get done with the chatbot. It can be simultaneously used by multiple people. So the capacity of a chatbot to deal, to help in dealing, is way more than an agent. So it's the capacity is, to conclude, the capacity is way more than humans. So this is very useful. Then it's platform agnostic. So again, as I take the example of calling these helplines, so you'll have to call this particular number. You'll have to find out the number. You'll have to call to that number, and you can only it can be sometimes it's a number which can be only accessed by mobile SIM card. You can only call from mobile, not from landlines. Or if it's a toll free number, you can call it and you can keep talking. Or sometimes they're charged. So you have to pay to talk to these agents also. But being platform agnostic, it can be accessed from anywhere, free of cost, and from any platform. Like it could be a web application, a website, a mobile application, or even the helpline numbers. You can call them and they can be connected to a voice bot, and you could be getting your query sorted. Next, you have the customer insights. So while agents can help you answer the queries and help you narrow it down, they cannot provide the same level of insights which program can provide, or which the software could provide, because they're constantly collecting data. So they're trying to sort out what questions the most asked ones, what are the troubles most consumers are dealing with right now, and they can help you the company or the product or the service understand what sort of a query which the customer most wants, most has doubts with. So by providing these insights, it helps them improve their customer service over time. It can help you also put these frequently asked questions on the website, or put them as a message, or an initial display as a display message before we start dealing with the chatbot. If you're dealing for this query, you can just do this. That way, that also reduces the load on the consumer, on the chatbot. Then we have customer satisfaction. Now, as I already mentioned, that you'll have to wait a lot in line while calling to this on these numbers, and you'll be a lot of waiting line, and you're constantly trying to wait for your chance to speak to the agent. So the customer satisfaction is much higher while using a chatbot, because customers can access it any time with a decent internet connection or mobile data package, and they could go ahead, access, and get the query sorted, and they don't have any waiting time from the product, or from the product itself, or from the company itself. It's they can just go ahead and get it sorted, and as soon as they put the question, they'll get an answer to it very quickly. So customer satisfaction is much higher while using a chatbot than a helpline. And cost effective. So chatbots are much more cost effective. So like as I mentioned, last year when there were a lot of queries coming in from consumers, you had the companies had to increase the number of agents to deal with it. So now this while increasing the number of agents, this also increases the cost for the company, and you don't know for how long this situation would last. So while agents while people might go ahead and call these helplines and get the query sorted, it is not very cost effective for the company to hire these many number of agents. So chatbots, they are very cost effective in this manner. Like, if you're a consumer, if the number of users increase, you do not increase the number of chatbots. It's one single chatbot that is dealing with a larger number of customers, and it gets a lot of more data to learn from also. So it's constantly improving over time. So it's not only cost effective, it's also growing with along with repeated usage. And then we have work automation. So as these are software programs, they can easily be automated. And you can go ahead and you can as I mentioned, you have these rule-based chatbots. So you can easily automate the flow. Whereas with an agent, you might not be able to do so. So the advantage that would decrease the time a consumer spends while dealing with an agent and get his answers to queries really fast. So the work automation is also an advantage while using chatbots. So moving on. So what is the roadmap to build a chatbot? So we have understood what are chatbots, what are types of chatbots, and what are the advantages of using them. But what is the roadmap to build one? So first and foremost, understand your audience, know your audience, understand what sort of queries they have, what sort of product you're building, and what sort of queries they have related to that product. So you need to understand your audience and what they exactly want. So before you go ahead, you should always understand your audience. If you have a existing customer service, try to understand the questions that are coming in. You can do a survey among the agents, or you could collect a data of what are queries are coming on the emails also. So you can always collect all this data and you can understand your audience. So this is the first and foremost. So that way you can what sort of, you can understand how to start with and what your chatbot is supposed to focus on. Sometimes it could you don't need to go for a hybrid chatbot. It might be very complicated to build compared to the simple or the keyword recognition chatbots. You can just go with a simple chatbot, and that might be able to solve the problem your audience is facing or your consumers are facing. Next, keep your goal specific. So as I mentioned, when you understand your audience, you kind of it helps you define the goal which you're trying to focus on. So that will you can make an objective what you're trying to achieve. So if you're like a pizza, if you're a cafeteria or which is delivering pizza or any other food product, you know what sort of a flow that consumer what flow it should follow. What is the item, what are the toppings, what are the amount of cheese for a pizza, and what are the sides they require, or if drinks, yes, and if yes, then what are the drinks they want. So to understand this, you should understand your audience, and that will help you define your goal. So when you keep your goal specific, that will help you understand what sort of a chatbot you want to build, whether it can be a simple chatbot, uh, keyword recognition chatbot, or a hybrid chatbot or contextual chatbot. So know your audience, and then that will help you define your goal, and that will help you go to the next step, that is keep your goal specific. And once you have understood the goal and you understood your audience, you try designing conversation workflows for examples, so that you can understand more on how your chatbot should function, or what sort of help your chatbot is providing. So this will help you filter down a lot of unnecessary information which your consumer might not require, and will help you also target find what necessary information is required. So you can decide, sometimes some information might be irrelevant to the consumer, and some information might be, and you can miss out on the irrelevant information. So try to design these conversations workflow, so that you can understand what is relevant and what is not, and visualize user conversations. So try to think of it as if the consumer is dealing with an agent itself, who is through a chatbot. So that's how the chatbot should feel, as if the consumer is just talking to agent and he's directing it to them. Because most people prefer talking to another human, because they feel their queries will get it sorted faster, or they'll get the specific answer which they require. So try to visualize your user conversations. That will help you understand. Uh, that will help the audience, the consumer, feel as if he's talking to an agent, and that will make it more user friendly, and the UI and UX is more simple and easy to use. So you can more and more people tend to use your chatbot. They tend to they can get their query sorted there, and they'll easily get their query sorted out also, and this will lead to better customer satisfaction for your product itself. So moving on. Okay. So what are voice bots? So we have talked about chatbots. So how are they different from voice bots? So voice bots are just voice powered user interfaces that can understand natural language and use it to converse with people. If you simply put it, they are computers that converse uh, like people. So they are chatbots with added voice ability. So that's all voice bots are. They're nothing something very different. They're just an added integration on your existing chatbot, like voice integration. uh, and they are classified in two categories: either text to speech bots or they're only voice only bots. So the virtual assistants we use in our phone are, they are voice only bots. So you can, I can say, hey Siri, hey Cortana, or hey Google Home, or anything, hey Google, and I can start the voice assistant, and it'll start working for me. So it's activated through my voice. And they also, if any answer is given, they will, if there's any answer to the query which I've asked, they would read out the answer to me. So I don't have to pick up my phone or type it down, or read it out. It reads out to me. So these are the type of voice bots which we have already been using. Yeah, Kari, moving, can you move to the next slide? So we have understood what are voice bots and why should we use voice bots now? What are the advantages of using voice bots? So they have less friction. So there's a speed in integration. So these integrations between clients and companies can be faster. They can because there's no touch required. So as there's no touch required, I can just, while continuing my existing activity, I can just, use this chatbot. There'll be less, there won't be a requirement for me to, pick up the phone and, type down my query. I can just ask it, by just saying, activating it by saying the keyword, and then it would, take in my query. So there's less friction and it's easy to use. Uh, all text, no voice chatbots are mechanical. So this is something that might have come across your mind or while dealing with these chatbots. So when you're dealing with these chatbots which have a flow, they're mechanical. So you feel as if you're just answering a survey form, or just answering, selecting some options. So it's very mechanical, and this might be boring for your customers also. So this by by having voice bots, you can bring innovation to the customers. So this can improve your chat solution, and you can make a product more competitive in the commercial market. The most innovative products as a rule are always, they generate curiosity, and curiosity brings in more potential customers to your company. So more people will tend to use your service, or the voice bot, to understand how it works, and to see how it feels while using it, and how easily it sorts out your queries, or it helps you deal with the service. Then listening is more engaging than reading long text. So audiobooks are gaining a lot of popularity, and if you've seen, because it's very easy to use. So same goes with voice bots. So I could, if for me to read a book, I need to maintain a correct posture, and to keep be in a correct light, or I need to sit in a place where there's an adequate amount of light coming in while reading, so I'm able to read. So this can be very this could be a lot of work required from my side. So while using audiobooks, so you can always lie in your bed, and you can listen to a book, or you can just close your eyes, relax, sleep, and you could be listening to an audiobook. So you're basically getting the same thing to a different sense. Instead of using your eyesight, you're using your ears. So same way, uh, with voice bots, they're more engaging than chatbots, because I don't need to take out my phone and type down a query. I can just activate it by a voice command, and it could help me help. I could start a conversation with my voice bot. And regular activities have become uncomplicated with voice bots. So you might have seen many advertisements where all these virtual assistants were being advertised. The people were using them simultaneously while doing some other activity. So while using chatbots, it could be a hindrance to me. I could have to take my phone or my laptop and type down the query I have. But with voice bots, I can just be driving. I can say, hey Siri, can you call this person for me, or can you send a SMS for me to this person. And I don't have to stop the activity I'm continuing. I could do this along with the activity I have. It can help me multitask. So these are some advantages of using voice bots over chat bots. So moving on, what is Twilio? So Twilio is a cloud communications platform. It's a platform as a service company, and it aims to provide communication apps, and help you build integrate communication APIs within your platform, within your applications. So it tries to provide a link between the internet and the telecom networks. So a lot of time you might have been using is SMS app, trying to integrate SMS applications in your applications, or and you're trying to integrate, and you're trying to communicate with the it's tough to get integrated with your telecom operator. But with Twilio, this problem gets sorted. You can easily go ahead, you can integrate their APIs, which will help you connect to your telecom networks, and you can have a SMS sent to your phone via application which you built on your own. And it helps you these simple services which are integrated, and you can easily go ahead and integrate within your applications. And it also helps you add capabilities like voice, video, and messaging to applications. So you can go ahead and integrate all these sort of added integrations to your applications by using Twilio APIs. So moving on. So what is we mentioned about voice bots, and we mentioned about text to speech and speech to text. So IBM has its own offering of IBM Watson speech to text. And what is Watson speech to text? So IBM Watson speech to text, it gives you a brand, a voice, and it enables you to improve your customer experience and engagement by interacting with users in their own languages, and it can be written in any text. And this increases the accessibility for users with different abilities, and it provides audio options to avoid distracted driving, and it can also automate your customer service interactions to increase efficiencies. So it provides powerful and real-time speech synthesis. You can convert written text to natural sounding speech using natural speech synthesizing techniques. You can create custom voices, so you can create a uniquely branded voice that can your users can get adapted to, and you can have them. This can be done by having choose from hours of recording which is available out there, and then you can maintain and control the ownership of the data. So none of the data is collected, and you can go ahead and you can use this keep the ownership of the data, and you can create insights from this data which is collected also. And yeah, so moving on. So we have IBM Watson text to speech. Oh, so this helps you, enhance your customer experience with AI-powered speech recognition and transcription. So it can help you enable fast and accurate speech transcriptions in multiple languages for a variety of use cases. And it's not included, but just not limited to customer self-service. But it can also provide agent assistant, speech analytics, and various other features. So you can go ahead and use the various machine learning models out of the box and customize them for your use case. Yeah. Moving on. So next we have guest speaker Rangana, who's going to be sharing his experience of working with various chatbots, and he's going to show us what architecture he has used, and he's going to see how it simplified the problems his team was facing using using chatbots and voice bots. So over to you, Rangana.
Hi everyone, I'm Rangana Gunatilaka. I'm the Operation Excellence Head and the founder of OpenSplint. Previously, it was called Splint when we operate with Emirates and with my colleagues. Now, it's a great opportunity to be here with the IBM team, and plus it's great to share the experience with these nice, wonderful products and how it helped